Shalom, welcome back to the Deep Dive Special Edition series. The Idra Zuta gives us an image that is both strange and beautiful. All life hangs from the beard of Atika Kadisha. The beard is called Mazal. In ordinary conversation, Mazal can sound like luck, fortune, or a favorable turn of events. But here the word points to something deeper. It suggests a flow that drips and descends from above. Mazal is not random chance. It is the hidden abundance of the Ancient One becoming available to the worlds below. The Zohar says that upper beings and lower beings look toward this Mazal. Life depends on it. Food depends on it. Heaven and earth depend on it. The rains of favor depend on it. Even the great hosts above and below receive their strength through this flow. So the beard is not decoration, it is transmission. The most concealed face cannot be grasped directly. Its light is too hidden, too simple, and too far beyond every created measure. Yet, that hidden light must somehow nourish creation. The beard becomes the threshold. What is sealed within Atika begins to extend outward through its hairs, channels, and streams. This is why the Idra speaks of 13 streams of precious oil flowing from the beard. These are the 13 attributes of mercy. Oil is a perfect symbol because it penetrates, softens, nourishes, and gives light. A lamp cannot burn without oil. In the same way, the revealed worlds cannot remain alive without the mercy that descends from Atika. The 13 streams pour toward Zeir Anpin, the revealed divine face that governs relationship, prayer, Torah, judgment, and response. But the Zohar immediately adds an important distinction. The 13 do not all appear in Zeir Anpin in exactly the same way. 9 are present there in order to subdue judgments. That means mercy does not merely ignore judgment. Mercy enters the place where judgment operates and restrains it from becoming destructive. It gives judgment proportion. It keeps strength from turning into cruelty. It allows consequence to serve repair instead of annihilation. This is a pattern we can recognize in ourselves. Discipline without mercy becomes hardness. Truth without mercy becomes accusation. Boundaries without mercy become rejection. But when the streams of Atika enter those same qualities, discipline becomes guidance. Truth becomes healing. And boundaries become protection. The Idra says this Mazal descends in balanced measure toward the center. All the holiness of the Holy of Holies depends upon it. Through it, the tangled supernal knot is loosened from the head above all heads, the head that cannot be known by upper or lower beings. A knot holds something in concealment. It binds what has not yet opened. The beard does not abolish the mystery of the unknown head. It allows the concealed knot to release a measured flow without exposing the source itself. This is how revelation becomes possible without destroying concealment. The source remains unknown, yet its mercy becomes known by what it gives. The three heads of Atika expand into this beard, connect with the Mazal, and rest within it. The unknown head, the skull, and the concealed brain are not separate powers. Their influence converges in the beard, and from there, preciousness descends. The Idra then connects this flow to the letters of the holy name. The upper letters that derive from Atika connect to the beard and depend upon Mazal so that the lower letters in Zeir Anpin can endure. If the revealed name were cut off from its hidden root, it could not remain. This means every divine revelation rests upon something beyond revelation. The name we call upon in prayer is supported by a depth we cannot pronounce or comprehend. Speech is carried by silence. The revealed face is sustained by the concealed face. Nearness survives because mystery stands behind it. This is why Moses says, Hashem, Hashem, twice, with a pause between the two names. The Idra reads the first as the name rooted in Arich Anpin, and the second as the name revealed in Zeir Anpin. The pause does not divide God into two. It marks the passage from hidden mercy to revealed mercy. The first name is mercy before the world can receive it. The second name is mercy entering relationship, language, history, and human need. One is the spring inside the mountain. The other is the water emerging where the thirsty can drink. Everything bows before this Mazal because everything depends upon the flow it carries. The Idra then says that Atika Kadisha is mentioned as a head without a body. This is not a physical description. It means Atika is not revealed through the full anatomy used to describe Zeir Anpin. Zeir Anpin has a torso, arms, and legs because it governs differentiated action in the worlds. Atika remains the supernal head, the concealed support of everything. Within that hidden structure, the concealed brain is established. Supernal Hesed emerges, expands, and becomes included within the brain. Whiteness is arranged within light, Then the unknown head strikes the concealed brain, and another brain shines forth from the precious Mazal. This second brain expands into 32 paths. These 32 paths are the beginning of wisdom as it can be revealed. The source in Atika is beyond beginning and ending, but the 32 paths create direction. A path has movement. It has a point of departure, a way of travel, and a place where its influence can arrive. From this brain, 3 supernal heads shine: Chochmah, Binah, and Da'at. Chochmah is the flash of wisdom. Binah is the expansion and understanding of that flash. Da'at is the power that joins them and allows wisdom to become inwardly known. The Idra describes the pattern as 2 sides and one that includes them. Right and left need a middle. Expansion and restraint need connection. Insight and understanding need da'at so that they do not remain separate mental events. This threefold pattern repeats through every grade. Each level receives through right, left, and center, and then transmits to the level below. The universe is not built as a pile of isolated lights. It is built as a chain of relationships, each one receiving, balancing, and giving. The highest unknown head is not counted among the Sephirot. It is not even counted as their Keter in the ordinary sense. Reckoning begins only where distinction begins, and the unknown head is prior to distinction. The Idra says it is approached only through the willingness of the heart. That phrase matters. Some truths are not reached by intellectual force. The mind can map the paths, but the heart must consent to mystery. Willingness of the heart means reverence without possession. It means drawing near without pretending that the infinite has become manageable. The place of beginning appears when Atika shines through Mazal, and the concealed brain gives rise to the Chochmah of 32 paths. This is the first light that can be called a beginning, because it is the first light prepared to travel. Then the Zohar gives one of its most beautiful images. Chochmah is engraved and produces a river. That river is Binah. It flows out to water the garden, which is Malchut. The river enters the head of Zeir Anpin and becomes a brain of Chochmah. From there, it flows through the whole body and waters all the plants. This is the inner meaning of the verse, "A river went out of Eden to water the garden." Eden is not only a place in the distant past. Eden is wisdom at its source. The river is understanding that carries wisdom outward. The garden is the receptive world where hidden potential becomes living form. A garden cannot live on a single flash of light. It needs a continuing river. In the same way, one moment of inspiration is not enough to transform a life. Chochmah must become Binah. Insight must be developed, revisited, and carried into the places where choices are made. The flow also forms the brain of Binah in Zeir Anpin. Then two streams join the depth called Da'at. Da'at enters the head, becomes another brain, and fills the chambers and holes of the entire body. Wisdom is complete only when it fills the chambers. You can understand something and still live as though you never understood it. You can receive a sacred idea while your habits, speech, reactions, and relationships remain untouched. Da'at closes that distance. It carries knowledge from the head into the body until the inner rooms are filled. The three lights of Chochmah, Binah, and Da'at then shine into the three fathers, Hesed, Gevurah, and Tiferet. These shine into the children, Netzach, Hod, and Yesod. Mind becomes character. Character becomes action. Hidden wisdom travels until it can shape love, strength, harmony, endurance, humility, and connection. The Idra insists that nothing is separated from Atika. Every level is connected to the same concealed brain through Mazal. When the will of all wills is revealed and the whole structure shines, everything rests in complete joy. Joy here is not an emotional distraction from reality. It is the feeling of reconnection. Separation produces fear because each part imagines it must survive alone. Joy appears when every level remembers its source, receives what it needs, and gives what it was created to give. The Chochmah of 32 paths is called Eden, but it flows from a higher, concealed Eden. The lower Eden is the beginning of revelation. The supernal Eden within Atika has no beginning and no ending. Because Atika is hidden, the Idra calls it He. Because revelation can be addressed directly, it is called You and Father. This is the spiritual grammar of concealment and nearness. He points beyond the face we can address. You means the hidden light has come close enough for relationship. Prayer moves between both. We speak to Hashem directly, yet we know the one we address remains infinitely beyond our words. The Zohar says that wisdom is found from Ayin, from no thing. Ayin does not mean empty non-existence. It means a source that cannot be turned into an object of thought. Wisdom becomes visible, but the place from which it comes remains hidden. That is why the verse says that Elohim understands wisdom's way while he knows its place. A way is the route by which wisdom travels into revelation. Its place is the concealed route known only to Atika. Finally, the Idra explains why there are 32 paths. They are the 22 letters and the 10 sayings through which creation unfolds. The letters give shape. The sayings give movement and creative force. Together, they form the architecture through which Torah, identified here with Zeir Anpin, becomes communicable and the worlds become ordered. This means language itself is sacred when it remains connected to wisdom. Letters are not merely marks, and speech is not merely sound. Words can become rivers. They can water a garden, fill a chamber, subdue judgment, and carry hidden mercy into another person's life. But speech loses that power when it separates from its source. Words without Chochmah become noise. Understanding without Da'at becomes theory. Judgment without Mazal becomes harshness. Revelation without concealment becomes pride. There is also a discipline hidden in this teaching. A channel can receive only when it remains open. The beard carries the flow because it does not claim the flow as its own. The river waters the garden because it keeps moving. The letters become Torah because they submit to an order greater than themselves. The same is true in spiritual life. When we grip an insight as personal possession, it stops moving. When we use holy knowledge to appear superior, the river narrows. But when wisdom is received with humility and given with care, it continues downward. It reaches the person who needs courage, the family that needs peace, the community that needs truth spoken without cruelty. This is why the middle line is essential. Mercy does not erase strength, and strength does not cancel mercy. Da'at joins what the mind keeps apart. The central path teaches us to hold truth firmly without closing the heart. That balance is itself one of the ways hidden Chochmah becomes a blessing in the world. The correction is to reconnect the entire chain. Let speech rise toward silence. Let judgment receive mercy. Let insight become understanding. Let understanding enter the body. Let the river reach the garden. Let the name below remain joined to the name above. Then Mazal is no longer imagined as blind luck. It becomes alignment with the flow already descending from Atika. Blessing is not control over outcomes. Blessing is the ability to receive the hidden oil, carry it through the paths of wisdom, and let it become life where life is needed. May our minds become clear paths. May our hearts remain willing before what cannot be known. May our words carry mercy rather than accusation. And may the river from Eden reach every dry garden within us. Shalom.